real name.
Yeah.
Turn off that Xbox, motherfucker!
Oh yeah, you're right. Yep.
No, it's okay. You can play. You can play.
Oh no, it's just
I know
on.
2K. I know 2K19. You can play. You can play.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, that was so amazingly clear. It threw me off.
Val, we don't hear you if you're talking.
I wasn't. No.
Oh well, whoop-de-doo. Someone has.
Hey, I'm big time in here.
All right, the show has started broadcasting. So, Pat,
What episode? Oh, 28.
28 play.
Oh, let me finish showing.
Oh God.
I'm so high right now. Okay.
Okay, everyone clear your throats.
Okay. Damn. Hold on. This was a big.
And remember, no pressure, but this is going to be the first episode a lot of people listen to because of our exposure. So, make sure to chew extra loud.
Oh, sorry.
Make sure to do stuff like this. Like, make sure to do stuff like this.
Oh, I'm definitely going to scream into the laptop a lot.
Okay. Everybody ready?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Yes. Okay. Number 28 scheduled for one fall. I am high as hell, better known as Patrick, alongside La Flamma Blanca, Val Capone, and my homie, my brother from another, Black Market Ivan. How is everyone doing today? Starting with the ladies. So one of the two. It don't matter.
Val, you go first because you've had a rough day.
I did not have a rough day. I just had a little bit of a bummer of a day. It's okay. I have an ankle injury, so it's preventing me from skating right now. And I was hoping to be at practice and driving home as I usually start the show out and use my Bluetooth. But instead, I was told that I should wait until I see the doctor on Monday because my ankle's pretty botched. So I immediately turned around because I was on my way driving to Milwaukee, and I hit the first Wendy's drive-thru I saw. I can't tell you the last time, other than the Impossible Burger, I've had fast food. I have no idea.
So as a vegan, what did you have there?
Like all the French fries, and I definitely had a Frosty.
Okay. Because I found that because I mean I don't eat meat anymore, but I'm not vegan because I don't. That's like advanced level right now for me. But I have been able to still enjoy exactly those two things from Wendy's when I go, even though they're just like, man, these are a lot of calories.
Yeah, and I feel like a sad sack. That's why I was like, I picked up a giant sack of Wendy's and ate it like a sad sack. And again, I'm on a plant-based diet. I wouldn't call myself a vegan. I mean, I live primarily by a vegan diet, but I do it because of my health issues. And so I haven't had a Frosty in well over a year and a half, maybe almost 2 years.
Oh.
So it was awesome. And I was also very, very...
I was so excited to hear that.
Yeah, I know. I was very, very excited that I was not far from home. Let's just put it that way. And so I... decided to watch Disney blogs because Disney makes me happy. And I rewatched the Mae Young Classic, which also made me happy, which we'll talk about later. And I half-ass watched 205 Live because I'm annoyed, intrigued by other stuff that we'll talk about later regarding their general manager. So I switched to Disney blogs or vlogs and listened to all the best things I need to check out at Disney. And I watched a lot of vegan at Disney so I could get back on the non-dairy tip. But yeah, so that's my day. It was not terrible, but it was not fantastic either.
Beautiful.
Interesting.
And
beautiful.
So Pat, what about you, man? What how's your week? Besides the wrestling stuff, how's your week?
Oh,
how are you?
Man, drunk, hungover.
You're welcome.
Looking at old clips of drunken white people at the karaoke lounge that we went to.
Are we in those in that footage?
No, not no. But
so without talking about the wrestling element, why don't you guys, Pat, you and Val, or you know what, Val knows these places so well. So I want to see it from the lens of Pat. So Pat, take us through take us through your bar experiences from Friday before All In.
Okay. So this is what happened. I, came into the city. I met with a couple buddies of mine.
Shout them out.
Out of town.
Shout them out.
Q and Shaggy. And Miguel as well, because Miguel was there. Cool dude. So Miguel, Shaggy, and Q, they came into town for All In. We was like, we went and got something to eat. I had, what did I have? I think a Chicago style hot dog and some Popeyes. I know it's a weird combination, but I'm fat. So we go to, we're like, man, let's get our drink on. I was like, no, you know what? Val's supposed to meet up with us later on. Let's go to the home base right there. Can we tell them where we were at? Because, I don't want like random neckbeards showing up, hey, man, I'm coming to see Val. Like, I don't,
That's a good point. I think anyone who follows her Instagram knows where she is. I say shout him out. I say let the free plug of the week be this.
How do you pronounce it? I'm high.
Nisse Lounge.
Okay, Nisse Lounge on the corner of Know Your Road Boulevard and Jabroni Drive.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm high. But so I get there. And Val's not there yet, so I'm mingling with the locals up in there, and they're very, very nice people, cool as shit. Val sees me, okay. Mind you, everyone, this is the first time that me and Val have met face to face, eye to eye. She runs at me at about 300 miles an hour and clotheslines me so hard. She was trying to give me a hug though. But she clotheslined me that my head like flew off like 20 feet in the air.
Oh my god!
Yeah, like
where did it land?
I think on the yeah, it was it landed like I guess like fucking I don't know. I guess on a pool table. So as we're doing that, we're chilling, we're hanging out, and that was the first time that I had Malort. For the first time. Now, mind you, once again, I love all the people that's in this bar, but some of them are zombies, man, because they were trying to tell me like, "Yo, Malort is the best shit that you can drink. Like, it's super dope. Like, you should try it." So I took a shot of Malort with Val and the bartender. I can't remember her name, and about 4 locals.
Wait, was that with Stephanie or no? It was with Mary.
Mary, okay.
Friday night, right? Mary.
So, yeah. So we
yeah, it was definitely with Mary because I had to call her and ask her if I left my wallet at the bar.
Yeah. So yeah, once again, I'm still aching from the pains of Val giving me a clothesline and running at me at 300 miles an hour. I drink Malort. I'm looking around. Everyone's all happy and cheery that they just drunk Malort, and then me and everyone else. We're like, I think me and Shaggy, we looked at each other like, yo, what the fuck did we just drink? Like, this shit tastes like battery acid or something, like cat piss or whatever.
It's like victory is what it tastes like.
It might grow on me. I want to try the peppermint one. So anyway, we go from this bar and we went to another bar in Chicago called the Green Mill. So if anyone's trying to go there, if you're wearing white tees and all types of dumb shit, you're not getting up in there because it's a jazz lounge. Pretty cool people there too. I was only there for a little bit because it was like, I don't know, at that time, maybe 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, okay, gotta go home. Saturday, we meet up, we do All In, and then we go back to the bar. And this was the first time that Black Market Ivan and Danielle tried Malort. So I tried to get this stuff filmed and stuff.
No, wasn't that Sunday?
Was that Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was. See how drunk I am? Oh, Saturday we went to main event and I spilt my Jameson on my Okada buck that I got from All In which I still have and might sell on eBay for about $500. Anywho, yeah, we went to main event and we had a lot. No, we had a few drinks there. All right, fast forward back to the good stuff because this was when all of us was all together. Because Sunday we went to Warriors Wrestling, Warrior Wrestling 2, which was phenomenal. Anyway, we go back to the home base. I wanted to record Danielle and Black Market Ivan taking a shot of this Malort for the first time ever. Like I want to play back their faces when they drunk this unleaded fuel. And
no, diesel.
Diesel, yeah. So yeah, we sit there. I give it to a local. I don't remember her name, and even if I did, I'd be kind of mad right now. So I'm like, here, hold the phone. It's already recording. She's like, okay, I'll do that. So she did. She had the camera, and I guess as soon as she got my phone, she hit the stop button, thinking that it was record. So we didn't get that, but yeah, like we got completely fucked up. Then we went to a karaoke bar on like fucking Foster and something, whatever.
Lawrence.
And Lawrence. Okay. So we
no. I'm sorry, Lincoln and Foster. It's called the Hidden Cove, and it's open till 4 a.m.
Okay.
Every day of the week except for Saturdays till 5. And it's right by a police station, so if shit gets really weird, you know.
Yeah. So we go up in there, and look, I'm sorry, new listeners, if you're listening to this, but I felt so out of place. I felt like the only black guy on the planet. So we get up in there. Right? And they're doing like all this karaoke shit. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm here with Val, Black Market Ivan, and Danielle. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna drink these gin and water and tonic or whatever the fuck we were drinking. I don't remember. I think it was that.
Tito's in water with lime. That's what I drink. When I drink alcohol that isn't Malort, that's what I drink.
Okay. So there we go. You know, so we was drinking that, and I'm looking at all these white people, and they're dancing like tornadoes. Like they're just standing in one place.
Tornadoes?
Spinning around. Yes, it reminded me of tornadoes. I've ever heard that. I wrote that down. I wrote that down in my notes because I was so drunk. I need to remember. Oh my God, are you serious? So yeah, so the people were spinning around like tornadoes, and you know, one lady, she fucking fell on the ground, and you know,
it wasn't me. That's not how I hurt my ankle.
Yeah. Some chick fell on the ground, and I think Val and Black Market Ivan
they went to
help her up
to save her, and Pat and I just said, we want no part of this. Drunk.
Yeah, man, like me.
But you know what's fucked up though is that we went to go help her, and then she like looked at us like we pushed her down, like, and I was like, "Oh, girl, no, I'm trying to be a polite lady in society right now. Don't fuck with that."
So ridiculous.
Yeah, so it was weird, and I don't remember. I know we had like a little impromptu photo shoot outside the bar, and we gave Danielle the phone. And she took maybe 46 pictures. Only 43 were used. I mean, only 3 was used because like 43 of them was like blurry. But Danielle was very drunk. I was very drunk. I don't even remember the ride home because I stayed the night at Mr. Ivan and Danielle's castle. My ad, like, yeah, I'm telling you. Good stuff there, and I got to see 2 people that I haven't seen in like 8 years, Midnight and Bruce Wayne. Those are their cats, and man, it was like I was. You should have seen the magical, like, man, dude. I want them to sleep with me that night. I want one on my head, and like, it was just a wonderful night. But that's all I can remember from that day. But
we also got pizza.
Oh yeah, we got pizza from Demo's.
Chicken and waffles pizza for you guys, vegan pizza for me.
Yeah, at Demo's or whatever. And that's all I remember is getting home. And I remember I got on Xbox Live, and a buddy of mine that was supposed to go to All In, he was like, "Pat, how was your weekend?" And he told me that I told him that white people are crazy. So, and I don't even remember that. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot more in that trip, but
Oh my god.
We had fun, and I'm still recovering. Like I know I'm old now, because normally like the old me would have been like, all right, let's go. I slept, let me see, Monday, Tuesday, and half of Wednesday.
Oh, that must have been nice. I went to Milwaukee and I got super jaked at the Cubs game. They lost not so bad the first night. It was like a good game. The next night was 11-1. So I started drinking heavily. And somehow I went to the gym for a couple hours on Tuesday. Since I couldn't skate, I was like, well, I can't skate. I'm still going to work out for 2 hours. And my buddy Patrick, not you, Patrick, my Milwaukee Patrick.
Yeah.
He and I went to the gym for like 2 hours and we both just about died. But
I kind of wish I was that Patrick. I need to get my ass in the gym.
You can go with me. I mean, we're going to sweat it out even if we're hungover. I thought I was going to throw up at a certain point. I was doing planks and I was like, no. I was trying to do fancy shit where you like lift one leg and then you hold it and then the other leg. And I was like, no, I'm going to throw up right now. So I opted not to do that.
Thank you, Val, for being our tour guide throughout your stomping grounds down there, and introducing us to all these amazing drinks. And overall great time. And like Pat mentioned, I mean, it was the first time the four of us were physically in one room, so that's great. That was a good time. And hey, what brought us together was lots and lots and lots of wrestling. But before we get to all the wrestling we're going to talk about, Danielle has some. It's like you've got those business books that exist out there that like the Fortune 500 companies all have to read at these seminars, at these like Six Sigma seminars. Well, Danielle has some information that anyone listening to this podcast must know. You cannot live a healthy life without this information. Danielle, why don't you tell us that information?
This blew my mind. Did you know that you could cool a beer down in 5 minutes or less?
I could have told you that.
I had a feeling you would probably be the one person who would know.
You know,
the way to do it.
That's what I do for a living.
Is a small little recipe of ice, water, and heaps of salt.
You don't even need to do that. You just got to put ice and water. Heaps of salt will make it go a lot quicker, though.
That was what made it more interesting for me to use this as a fact this week, because of the salts bringing down the temperature to more of a freezing point, causing the liquor to cool off within like a 5-minute time period. And I read it and my mind was blown. And now all of you have been blown.
Whoa.
Hey, what type of podcast?
I was gonna say something more, but then I'm gonna stop my sentence. But with that said, and I used a beer reference because tonight I am partaking in a Chicago's own Revolution. I can't even speak today. Revolution Brewery. Brewery.
Don't you dare open it all the way over there.
Their original, well, it's probably not their original, but their more mainstream one, which is called Anti-Hero. And I'm going to crack it open, okay?
Their flagship beer. Their flagship.
Oh, that's the word. Ready? Shh.
Pour it. Let's hear the pour.
Okay, ready?
Oh, yeah.
That was awkward.
Is it quiet?
You had like 2 ploops and a plop, and then it was done.
Hey, a lot of guys have that problem, Val. Don't judge. So
people are listening to this shit and they're probably like, what the fuck?
Okay, so
the whole
side note,
crazy
before I pass the microphone over to Black Market Ivan, is this week's festivities have graced me with a cold / sinus infection / congestion and chest tightening breathing situation. So this alcohol is going to be kind of my medicine. Not really. I'm going to fake it and pretend like it's a medicine, and that's how fast I'm going to drink it. So,
Okay.
that's kind of where I'm at physically, and then mentally, you know, we'll just see how the night plays out. But Black Market Ivan, tell me what is in front of my face.
Well, as I prepare it, Val, you were going to say, what do you think about Danielle's liquor medicine?
Well, I was going to say that if you are going to drink when you're sick, which not recommended because it actually impairs your immune system. But if you are going to drink when you're sick, the best thing to do is drink whiskey. I'd like to drink Makers.
Hey! Oh, go on. I'm sorry. You'll see why I'm that excited.
It's like almost kind of like a whiskey sour, but a little sweeter because it's orange juice. And like the whiskey will kill whatever you're dealing with, and the OJ will help replenish vitamins that you need, like vitamin C, to help fight off infection. So if you want to have drink number 2, as I'm sure that you will, because 2 hours of this drives everyone to drink, I would recommend a bourbon and OJ, preferably Makers. That's just what I like.
You know what's funny is I wish I want to have whiskey more often than I do, but every time I end up drinking that specific type of alcohol, I almost kill somebody because I have rage. So
what?
It is the one alcohol that I regretfully cannot consume because something happens in my body and I just hate everybody and want to stab everyone I see. So, but you mentioning Maker's Mark, that Mr. Black Market Ivan, why don't you tell us what you're drinking?
So my go-to drink it used to be back in the day, it used to be a drink that we called the Black Market, which was Sailor Jerry rum and throwback Coke or throwback Pepsi. I'm sorry, the one with the real sugar in it. Now I've pivoted away. Now my gentleman's pairing, as I call it, is Maker's Mark, which I'm holding a fresh bottle. I bought it about 2 hours ago. Maker's Mark, a shot of it, and then a can of Guinness, the nitro infused Guinness, and you just have to alternate sips for the whole time. So you take a tiny sip of Maker's, switch it around, whatever you want to do with it, and then your next step is Guinness. They completely complement each other, and that is, that's how it's done over there across the pond as well. So yeah, I'm going to.
Well, they both are cracks, technically, I guess.
Makers is just a twist.
Oh,
but
yeah,
listen to this.
Got the wax. It's got the wax.
Okay. All right.
So a nice shot, and then
this is going to be
best. This is the nitro infused, guys. Check this out, all right?
Oh, that's intense.
I'm not gonna lie. That sounded like some porno.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's slurping all right.
Check it out. Bye. Here we go. Oh my Lord.
You know,
schedule for my love. Time to drink it all. Schedule for my love. Time to drink it all.
I think, is this a hard pour?
I don't know if it was supposed to be a hard pour, but it's creamy. So this is Guinness nitro infused. It is beautiful. Best enjoyed, poured into a glass. So guys, last but not least, Val, I know you're relaxing at home. You got the fries, the Frosty. Are you consuming any liquor or?
I'm filling up my water bottle right now. I'll be right there.
Holy crap! All right, and last but not least, Pat, what do you call the herbal that you've consumed today? Because I can tell, I've known you for a good little while. I can tell that whatever you smoked today was premium stuff.
It definitely was Moon Rock.
Moon Rock. So this is Moon Rock.
Yeah.
Cheers to Buzz Aldrin.
Yes. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers here. Hold on. I'm gonna cheers with my shot, and I'm gonna cheers with my glass. Beautiful, guys.
I would cheers with my blunt, but I don't think you can hear that over the.
No, you just have to breathe into the microphone. What the hell,
guys? That was me sipping the shot of Baker's. I'm sorry.
My God, that face.
All right. So here is, because now normally I like to just roll with it, but today's a little different of a setup because of what we're going to talk about. So we're going to start the evening with recapping All In,
I have alcohol.
Oh, what are you drinking?
What?
Well, I'm drinking Stone Cold Steve Austin BCA Ace, as always, so I'm not so hungover tomorrow. Tito's, because it's my favorite. And out of my women's championship mug, because I'm an adult. That's why my camera's on, so you can see that I'm actually drinking tonight, because I never do. So here goes.
Oh, yes, that's a hefty pour.
So you're just drinking it straight?
No, check out what Tall Dad ordered me, because he's the best. He knows that I can't drink, bubbles too often because bubbles give me troubles. And but I like a nice San Pellegrino. So the new one that he got is this prickly pear and orange.
Ooh, so, crack it open.
Beautiful.
And then.
Oh my god.
Yes.
It is a lot of alcohol.
Hey, that's the way we do it.
Look at that.
That pour. It's a nice pour.
At least it ain't LaCroix.
Ah! Hey, man. Don't be hating over there in Boo-Foo land, wherever the hell you are.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Let's find out if it's any good. I don't know. Paul Dad ordered it for me because he knows I like hippie shit.
Is he there? Oh, wait, sip it.
No, he's on tour. He's on tour right now.
Gosh. Okay, Val. Okay. Sidebar. Mr. Black Market Ivan was going to pour his drinks into a big ass mug, and you are drinking out of a big ass mug. You two are like on the same exact level here. Talking about fucking Maker's Mark, drinking out of big ass mugs. I'm
Is he wearing a sports bra too?
Yes.
But you know what's crazy is I don't have anyone to share the greenery with. Like what the fuck? I'm the only
on tour.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, shit. Okay.
Does Yoshi like
someone's eye?
You usually give Yoshi a contact high? Pat, I said, do you usually give Yoshi a contact high?
You had to think about that for a moment.
God.
Pat, do you get your dog high with marijuana?
No, we do not want anybody from PETA listening.
You just woke my dog.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I will say, if I was high and Yoshi was in front of my face, I would not be podcasting. I would just be staring into his beautiful furry face.
And then as the blunt approaches his mouth, his tongue comes out and he goes, "Bell."
Oh, you're talking about you're talking about Yoshi.
Yeah, I said Yoshi. What do you
Oh
wow. I tried not to.
What did you think I was talking?
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
What's your puppy's name?
Yippee-ki-yay.
Oh, yeah,
She's a motherfucker.
She is adorable. I'm sorry to the listeners. There is just
we're
beautiful
being distracted
scene right now.
That's
I can talk about WWE all day. Just
they're probably like, yo, talk about All In.
Okay. So Pat,
I lose control when I see animals.
So we're going to talk about All In. Then we're going to talk about New Japan upcoming shows. We're going to talk about Raw, SmackDown, 205 Live, the Mae Young Classic, and NXT, and then some Chicago wrestling updates and plugs for upcoming shows by the one and only Val Capone. So Pat, take a deep inhalation. Everyone take a good sip of your drink. We got a lot to talk about.
I'm putting my dog away, Danielle.
Oh my God. I want to kiss her and take her home and snuggle with her.
All right, I'm turning off the camera now that you've seen me drinking alcohol. You've seen my dog. It's weird to have this camera on. So, bye-bye.
Okay,
yeah,
buddy.
Plus, who knows? Some neckbeard might have hacked what we got going on here.
Neckbeard alert. Neckbeard alert.
Neckbeard alert. So Danielle, All In started. They don't call it a kickoff show or a pre-show because they have a good amount of respect for their talent. So they called it 0 Hour. So
is that respectful though? 0 hour?
Yeah, because 0 hour means like the beginning.
Well,
as opposed to
it's awesome.
It's just
sure. Why not?
Well, since
hold on, Danielle. Val, don't you dare get snippy.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Wow.
Don't get snippy just because you got Yippee there.
How are you? I think that is that kind of racist. Did you just turn into like a 6-year-old black woman? I think you did.
Pat, she said it, not me.
Oh wow.
You can just edit that out.
Wow.
Oh my god, I can't. I'm distracted. Okay.
Or is that misogynistic because he told a woman to shut her mouth?
Oh,
Right.
No.
You should bite his face. Just kidding.
Okay, so all in recap. A lot of people know the spoilers already, so I was just wanting
Spoiler
to
alert for Nerd Alert.
have a little bit of a conversation about how we all felt about it. 0 Hour had started. That was what was on WGN America that the world could watch without paying, and they started with SCU versus the Briscoes. I believe it was for the ROH belts.
Can we point out for those that might be tuning in that are not familiar with Ring of Honor that SCU is SoCal Uncensored?
Yes.
Because like we're deep into Mark territory right here on this podcast, whether people want to admit it or not. Lady Mark for life, boom boom. But I know that there's a lot of people that are just falling into wrestling because of hearing about All In and what a buzz they created, which hello Revolution. But go ahead, Danielle.
Yes.
SCU.
SoCal Uncensored defeated the Briscoes. It was a good opening match because as the night progressed, I don't know where else they could have placed that match specifically, but they opened with that. SCU won. Definitely are the fan favorites from that match in the audience. SCU. And then we closed out 0 Hour with the over budget battle royal. And guess what? We all know who won by a surprise little deceiving pop in. Mr. Flip Gordon decided to he had like it wasn't a lucha mask, was it? Because I was trying to look at pictures.
Yeah, he was like in green and yellow, like a fucking Packers fan. So everybody should hate them. But instead people were supportive.
But I get his, obviously he was purposely very green looking, intended. And he ripped off his mask and surprised Bully Ray. And I don't remember what move he did, but it was a nice little pop for that to finish out that Royale. There was so much that was there's so much that happened in this 5-hour show that I'm gonna miss all the great details except for the little things that were just so insane that we'll talk about during this segment.
Druids.
But then they closed out the full stream and they went to the main show, which we kicked it off with Matt Cross and MJF, which was Maxwell. I forgot his last name. I'm blanking out on it. But they're newcomers. And they obviously did place this match in the beginning for reasons of streaming. You totally can tell that. Everywhere that you read about All In talked about, well, this is such a new thing. And in case if there's any broadcasting errors or sound errors, they're going to put a match that people are not going to be 100% invested in. So I think they did a pretty decent job with this kind of show that nobody really knew what it was about. They just knew it was going to be a fan-driven performance, and it was entertaining. Matt Cross won, and he had some really cool moves. I enjoyed watching.
He had a beautiful shooting star press.
Yeah.
For the finish, like really good match. I liked it.
And MJF is just a phenomenal heel. I mentioned that before on a couple other shows we've had, and he is just the perfect dick and asshole that.
Hey, that's the wrong podcast here.
What?
But he
we don't want to hear about perfect dicks over here.
Until Joey Ryan comes back to life.
Yeah.
Yes. But after that, we led into the Christopher Daniels and Arrow match, which Arrow is Stephen Amell, for those who don't know. And, okay, it was all right. I had a little bit more of a expectation, I guess, out of it. And I don't know why I shouldn't have. But, I mentioned to Black Market Ivan that Christopher Daniels is pretty amazing because he took somebody who doesn't know how to wrestle and made them look like they could. And that shows experience that shows talent. And even though it was like a mediocre match, for what was the material he could work with, he did a pretty good job. But he won against the TV superhero. And my favorite part of this moment actually was us in the seats where there was a guy sitting a couple rows in front of us, and all he yelled out, and it echoed, was, "Oh my God, is that John Mayer?" And it made my night. It made me laugh so hard because he said it in the most outrageous way, and nobody around us was speaking, that it made me enjoy the match a little more. And then we finally kick it off. We get some speed and traction with the women's match, which was Tessa Blanchard, Chelsea Green, Britt Baker, and Madison Rae fighting just to fight and to show their skills, and just a phenomenal women's match. Tessa won because, of course, why wouldn't she win? But my little highlight of this was finding out that Britt Baker came out to Adam Cole's original Ring of Honor music with her new visual background.
Which is significant because they're partners in life. Like, it's not just like she's a super fan. Like, if I were to come out to Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme song, which, by the way, I might have to at some point.
You're not married to Stone Cold?
No, only my dreams. Only 18-year-old me is. Although I do have some good photos of us together. But
all right, keep that off the podcast.
Nope, never. No. We need to have that on the podcast.
Oh, it's gonna go on our new Insta.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, right. And we'll promote that at some point in time. We should have been promoted it, but we're fucking unprofessional.
Hey, we're learning as we go. But yes, finding that out. I mean, first of all, besides it being a phenomenal match, knowing that little tidbit made me just love this match even more. Again, the women pulled out at all their moves. It was very entertaining. It had a good pace to it. Even though there were some moves that were botched and they were just going with it, they sold what they could sell. It still got a standing ovation. It still had everybody chanting, "This is awesome," and "This is wrestling." It was a really great moment to be a part of that with women's wrestling and women's evolution. It was awesome.
I would say with all the little mistakes that they had, that was probably one of the best women matches I've seen this year so far. So I want to see more independent women wrestling. Like, after watching that match, like, it was really fucking good.
I just wish we knew someone who can show us good independent wrestling. I just don't know anyone who.
Yeah, I
don't know anybody that can show us that.
Like, I literally have not. I don't even know where to even begin. So,
well, Indiana. The only place you can actually see indie wrestling is actually in Indiana.
Oh, see, that's why.
I mean, I would, otherwise I'd be able to help you guys out.
Pat, being that you were very, very close to ringside,
we were
talking about this for a few months, actually, about there better not be any sweaty neckbeards talking trash at this show. How was the crowd that close to ringside during that match? Did you hear any, "Oh my God, look at her butt"? Like, did you hear any stupid perverted crap, or were they actually pretty respectful fans?
No, it was a little bit of both. I know when Flip won the Battle Royal and he took the mask off, I had people being, "Oh my God, that's CM Punk!" Oh, and I'm looking.
I thought it was, full disclosure, because we were at the second floor. I thought it was CM Punk too, but I was just like, "Oh, I thought it was CM Punk." But Flip was cool too.
There's no excuse.
There's no Pepsi tattoo visible in his ring gear, guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I was just looking at the face. I was just looking at the face of there.
I was sitting.
Yeah, don't you work in an eye doctor? Aren't you an eye doctor?
Uh-oh.
I was like many feet away.
Patrick,
second floor.
I have popcorn here. Just come sit next to me, Pat, while they fight it out, okay? This is amazing.
We're going to get Maker's Marked. Watch out. Hey, fun fact, when I got my lip tattoo, I was Maker's Marked out of my mind. But anyway.
All right, so we had that, and then I had a couple guys during a women's match yell, "Show your tits." I thought that was fucking just disgusting as fuck. And it was even worse because it was kids there too, in that section. You would think that some of these fat ass neck beards, even skinny neck
Whoa,
beards
whoa,
too.
whoa, whoa.
Even skinny, I don't discriminate. All type of neck beards.
FA neckbeards.
Yeah. Oh.
Follically
PA.
astute neckbeards.
It kind of sucks though, because you know the show is based off BTE completely, 100% based off of the Elite and what they've done, and they have since the beginning of them doing their YouTube show have always announced how much they love their families and their kids, and that, you know, it's not like an R. I mean, it is an R type of show, I guess. With the Joey Ryan and the murder segment and all that, but overall, the wrestlers definitely praise families and family life and wives and children. Like they never talk in disgrace about women or at women. So the fact that there's still that type of crowd at this kind of show is annoying.
That's like
That's
just
the world.
I'm not trying to be super sexist, because I'm sure that there's some women that are down with women that can also be creeps. In fact, I've met several of them growing up on the north side of Chicago and playing roller derby. But it's like there's just dudes that are jerks and scumbags and just only look at women as though we are objects, and that's just disgusting. And I can't even tell you how I had to stop reading on Reddit because of all the comments I was reading. And even on Twitter, I was seeing wrestle Twitter going cuckoo bananas, saying, well, it wasn't match of the night, and now all of a sudden it is because people don't like it because it's women. I mean, those girls did okay. I was like, those girls?
No, that was
those women that beat each other's asses all for them. I mean,
you know what it is? I'm just gonna assume that neckbeard, that guy wasn't there like at all in. I'm just gonna assume that. I'm assuming he was watching that from home. Being there.
No, I mean, I gotta be honest. One of the reasons why I love being involved in wrestling is because it doesn't matter my gender. I'm just a part of like the freelance fam and AAW and like all this other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, has nothing to do with the fact that I'm a woman or, you know, straight, gay, bi. None of that shit matters to anybody. Everybody's like, just love who you love as long as we all love wrestling. Who cares what color your skin is? Like, who cares what your gender is? Like, it shouldn't matter. You know? Yeah. But then when I go to the first ever NXT show in Chicago at the Portage Theater, and everybody was shit talking Eva Marie and how you can't wrestle. And then the second she was standing by a ring post, everybody had their camera phones out taking pictures of her ass. I mean, it's disgusting and it's unfortunate, but a lot of people in wrestling fandom maybe don't have social skills that great.
They don't. And that's why they feel they are let out of their basements for their one night out of the year, and that's their social interaction, and they just don't know how to control themselves.
And in all fairness, it is a really amazing community to be a part of, where they are supportive of open thinking and creative expression and loving who you love regardless of who you love. Like, people don't care, you know, about that. Like, all the people that I work with and all the people I admire. But there are jagoffs out there that only watch Scarlett Bordeaux because she looks great in her ring gear. And she just had to post something about like, oh, you say I can't wrestle. And I mean, you know, it's just frustrating hearing all these people like applaud this whole all-in experience, especially knowing, as you said, Danielle, that being the elite crew that started this whole concept is so supportive of the family and aspect of it. Not just like kids and kids of all ages, but like the fact that they are a family. And they work with each other and for each other, and then also happen to work to make us all happy too. Like, I couldn't even imagine what it must feel like to hear like the boos and the shit talking at that level. But you know,
it's an interesting world. But with that said, we did move on to again, what I really loved about All In is that they did it right. They built up each match. Even though this next match between Cody and Nick Aldis, I thought was going to close out the show, but they literally put it not even in the middle. It was still in the beginning part. It was I guess their entrances made it much more of a final fight situation, and that's what I loved about it. They literally came out like boxers, and you know, I read this everywhere, and I firmly believe that I will never be over as much as the Siberian Nightmare Pharaoh. Like that dog, when I saw him coming out with Cody, I had a moment of just joy and happiness. It was like, that is a true family right there, because he even took, he brought his pup to this event. It was just amazing. But we obviously know.
I'll guarantee you WWE is going to do that type of shit for pay-per-views. Like,
totally. You know, they saw how impactful that was and how many people like got Pharaoh over, even though that dog already has way more fans and friends I ever will in my whole life. That well, it was a cool moment, and him winning, it was, we all know it was a great moment in wrestling. It was a great moment for Cody, even though we all knew he knew it was, they know what's happening. It just, when you're in the moment, it's, you don't care about the soap opera aspect of it all. It felt good. I felt happy for him. Brandy being by his side was awesome too. It was just a great match. You gotta check it out if you haven't checked it out. Even again, like some moves were like, you know, like we saw it from a distance, so we could see some minor time off timing with their moves, but it was entertainment, and that's they delivered, and I was satisfied.
So I could be wrong, but when you were saying you were kind of surprised it was this early in the show, I 100% think of it as it's a production aspect, because Cody is one of the 3 main names that are running and producing the show. So I think they put him early on in the evening for that exact reason. True. And then, you know, because the, you know, the Bucks were in the final match of the night. They're not going to have both Cody and the Bucks be occupied at that last bit, because like pre-match prep and post-match is completely different. And, you know, so I think having him in the start of the show is also good for the show too. And then well, for the next match especially, I think it was very good to have like this really intense, passionate, the moment where he's holding the, you know, 10 pounds of gold or the NWA title in the middle of the ring and making it quote unquote relevant again. Like that was all really awesome. And of the clips that I watched, it kind of got me choked up. You know what I mean? And then
I'm not gonna lie, I cried.
It was like you could feel the emotional vibe amongst the whole arena. Like everybody just felt happy, and it was nice. Like it was so awesome to see no one hating. I mean, when Nick Aldis was coming out, that was probably the only moment where people were like, we were just booing them because we just were, you know, that anybody Cody. They're there for Cody, obviously. You know, that's what this was all about. So, but even after the match, it wasn't even about booing him. It was about just embracing the moment and being happy for Cody. And it was well done. I mean, bravo, guys. Like you got us emotionally invested, and everyone else who did tune in too. But we did follow that up with you know what? Okay, like I have a couple top tier favorite matches. Of course, we all do. But this is, I'm kind of debating on if this is my #1 favorite match of the night, and that is Mr. Hangman Page versus Joey Janela. And
interesting.
Yeah, you know what? And this is where I'm coming at as probably my favorite match of the night, because it was funny. It was grueling. There were so many spots that I was like, these guys are going to die, but I'm laughing at the same time. It told a story in such a short time frame, and the Cracker Barrel plug, I just can't. I can't even discuss on how amazingly entertaining that was, because we all know they purposely did it to plug Cracker Barrel and to use it as a weapon, and it's kind of country, and Hangman's about that country lifestyle, and it just all was a happy comedic yet kind of serious and intense. And I thought someone's gonna break their neck or break their back in one of their spots that they did. I I really enjoyed it. And then to follow it up with Joey Ryan having all the penises come out, the inflatable penises,
as Don Callis said, I was watching because we watched it live and then I watched it on the and New Japan World afterwards. As Don Callis said, a phalanx of phalluses.
it was heavenly. I had so much laughter and joy during this whole match, and that's what I'm paying for. I'm paying to have a good time, and this match was funny. It was the comic relief of what wrestling should be about and have moments of. You know, like Val, what you were saying earlier, like it was good that they had a serious emotional match, and then we followed up with some type of match like this that breaks it up, and I loved it.
I've heard so many people that were like disappointed by it because this was such a, I don't want to say prestigious match follow up. Like I think that's why they did it purposely, specifically the tempo and the flow going. But I have friends that were like, how do I explain to my wife or my husband that our 6-year-old has to watch Dick Druids? Like, and I was like, oh, I get it. And then it's kind of also like, you know, in the roller derby community, we strive to remind people that what we do is authentic 100%. The only thing that's, you know, kayfabe about what we do is the names on the back of our jersey, and that's to keep our private lives private. And some skaters opt to skate under their given names rather than their taken names, like the majority of us do. But when you have like skaters from back in the day, and I really liked her, but her name was Chainsaw Gutfuck, it's hard to hear. And she was on the Heavy Metal Hookers in Philly, which is the city that Tall Dad is in tonight.
I love every word you said in this sentence.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I do too. But it's hard to get sponsors to go, well, I don't know that Tampax or Advil or Pepsi or Mountain Dew or Ice Mountain, Aquafina, whatever, should be supporting this when Chainsaw Gutfuck and Heavy Metal Hooker, you know what I mean? Even though I think it's fucking great and I think it's liberating and awesome to be like, I can, you know, fuck with sexuality or whatever, however I want. And Joey Ryan, the fact that his like signature move is a dick flip, it's like a dick plex, like what? Or I guess Candace's was a balls plex, but so I have like mixed emotions because I do think it's awesome and it's great. And I love Joey Ryan. And I was so proud of the day in Austin when I got his blow pop, like so stoked. So I love everything about him. Whenever I hear, if I see somebody drinking a pina colada, I'm like, fuck yeah, Joey Ryan. But then I think about the parents that have to explain it to their kids or their significant others or whatever. Like, oh yeah, Dick Druids. That.
No, true. But okay, so this is, I agree with you. On the other hand, also think that they have tied Joey Ryan's character and storyline into BTE or being the elite, that anybody who's watching this show at this point within the pay-per-view should know that this is gonna happen. Like, it's gonna come up. So if they have children, they should, I don't know how to like censor it. I guess not censor it because they're not censoring it if they're letting their kids see it.
So, but we're like a deeply neckbeard alert educated audience, the four of us.
Yes.
And the majority of the people listening, tuning in right now, whether they're in New Zealand or New Jersey, you know, they're most likely neckbeard alert like us, like major marks, lady marks, whatever you want to say. But people hear, oh, that wrestling show is in town. And so, like, are you turning away people, potentially sponsors from WGN? You know what I mean? Like,
true. So, you're right. You're right. There is a fine line that I think they tried, but that's what keeps them, their entity, like PG-13/R rating. And I think the way they have marketed themselves has always kind of been in that bracket.
Oh, so, yeah, they're definitely dick jokes kind of guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's,
and I'm all for it. But I'm just saying, like, this is the argument that I've heard from people.
You like dick.
What's
exactly. And I feel like for the raunchier part of the show, if you want to say raunchier, they did a good job with it. I mean, I think the best chant, whoever started this chant during the carry off of Hangman of rest in penis, they're having their shit printed on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Well, to me,
like
that tells me somebody from inside started that chant.
See, but great, like phenomenal placement in that person in the audience, because we started chanting within like the first couple times the crowd got going.
And you guys can attest to that. I went to Pro Wrestling Tees looking for that Rest in Peanut shirt, and it was so funny because I was like explaining to my other homies that like wrestling, but Ryan, I'm like, look, dude, the next time you see me, I might be wearing a weird shirt. I don't want it.
No, I mean, I sent you that leak on purpose. I put it in our private group because I was like, this is hilarious. This is brilliant. And I can't even believe it, especially since The Undertaker is about to come out of retirement.
Yeah.
Again.
For the last time. But I wanted a Rest in Peanut shirt, and I'll have one very shortly.
I think I will have one too, which will be an interesting shirt to wear somewhere. I don't know where I'm going to wear it, but I will wear it.
Yeah.
Well, we followed up this match with, we came down from our little penis high that we just had.
Penis high got soft.
My hard phallus became soft, and it was not in a bad way. It was just the way the show was paced, and it was Jay Lethal, aka the modern Macho Man personality that he has developed, that character on BTE also, defeating the winner of the over budget battle royale, Flip Gordon. And there was a lot of spots here and there, and it was okay. I enjoyed it. I don't want to be an asshole, but it was kind of forgettable compared to what was to come as the night progressed.
Yeah, you're definitely drunk.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
nothing Jay Lethal does is forgettable, in my opinion, personally.
He was entertaining, and I enjoyed it. But when you compare this match to the full show,
yeah, I guess. Okay, all right.
If your bladder was about to explode and you had to take a piss.
Oh no, I don't want to use that phrase at all with All In. But
pee-pee break.
You would piss in.
I tinkle break.
If I was about to piss my pants and make the rest of my night uncomfortable with wet jeans, then
that's so disgusting.
I guess I would take that moment to do it.
I don't know why.
So I was wearing jeans. That's like just thinking of like I'm actually thinking of reality here.
You can say it can rain urine and I'll be soaked in urine. I'm like, okay, but you're like, my jeans will be wet. I don't know why that visual. Probably because it would take forever to get the smell out.
And it would take forever to fucking dry. Okay, so let's just.
Would La Flama Blanca then become the rainmaker over?
Oh my lord!
Rainmaker.
Okay, so Flip Gordon did not take the Ring of Honor.
I love you, Daniel.
No, yes, he got defeated by the lethal injection, and Bully Ray comes running to the ring with chains in his hand. And he starts whipping everybody down because he just has a statement to make. And
isn't he retired too? What the fuck is happening to this one?
That's that. We need to like have another sidebar podcast about this situation.
Doesn't exist anymore, and they
holy shit! I didn't say that. You said that. But the highlight of this segment for me was
a little boom boom,
little Chi-Town's finest, Colt Cabana coming to save the day. They do a little shield situation. At least the crowd did a like hoo-ah crap when they threw him through Bully right through the table, and that was my highlight of the match. I'm just gonna move on to the neck-breaking match of the evening, which was Mr. Kenny Omega versus Pentagon Jr.
Miedo.
Oh my fuck! This match, I have never said holy shit and held my neck the whole time. I've never done that watching a match in general. And this, I don't know how the fuck they both walked out of that ring. They fucked each other up. Like, I have no words. As you see, I'm using profanity instead of describing what I watched, because that match made me cringe because I legit thought somebody is getting fucking hurt in this match. If somebody's gonna break something, it's here, it's now, it's in this moment. And Kenny Omega ended up being the winner of this, and it was pretty much even all the way through. I don't think anybody could have predicted which way it would have went for what both of these guys did. But besides that happening, the highlights and the most unexpected, at least for me, I'll just speak for myself. And I say unexpected because I listen to Talk to Jericho, and the way Chris Jericho talks up WWE and Vince McMahon, I just didn't think he would be associated with anything all in on U.S. territory.
He didn't wrestle, though, did he? I mean,
he comes out of the ring in place of Pentagon, and then starts, kicking, and he does a couple spots against Kenny Omega, and then he does the code breaker, and you realize
strong style.
It's fucking Chris Jericho because he's the only one that does that move. And then there's this amazing reveal. He pulls off the mask and has the best hangover makeup I've ever seen in my life.
And then
they zoom in on his ass. Just he takes off his luchador shirt. See, that's where my mind is. Okay, I just want to take it there, but he just starts whooping Kenny Omega's ass, and then grabs the microphone for the best yell of Kenny Omega, I'll see you on the Jericho Cruise, which obviously is shots fired. They're gonna have a match on
Jericho Cruise. I mean, really, it's wrestling.
I know, but I was surprised that I just want to be a fly on the wall of the room Vince McMahon and him were in when they talked about this moment of him participating in this event, because we all know how Vinnie Mac is when it comes to anything independent, and let alone his top tier selling guy, Chris Jericho, supporting this type of event.
I was going to say he loves scooping up all the talent. That's what he loves. He's like, thank you, all in for showing me whose contracts I'm buying.
Yeah, yes. Black Market and Ivan and I have chatted about all the things that could have happened of why Vince McMahon said, okay, you do this, but I'm going to want A, B, and C from you.
Do you think it's coincidental that there's all the rumors and, that Pentagon Jr. is going to be signed by WWE? But end of Lucha Underground is when his contract ends 6 months after the airing.
I don't, Val, we're not going to discuss that until that day officially happens. Nope, we're going to just move on from it. But again, we went back into a good pace, a good build up, such a high Black Market Ivan, Simon, and I don't know if that doesn't make sense, but we were out of our seats jumping up and down when this moment happened. It was awesome. To top off that little cameo, if you want to say, is Jericho jumps out of the ring and goes to the crowd and runs up to the commentary table and pushes it, and Don Callis falls out of the chair, kind of like what happened to JR at
Dominion.
The Dominion show, and it was pretty. I thought it was funny. I like to watch people fall, so when that happened, I laughed out really loud. I don't know if anybody else did, but it made me laugh a lot. But anyways, we're down to the last two matches, you guys. Okay, Okada versus Marty Scurll, the Villain. I feel like this match, the way they presented it, would be like a closing match to any pay-per-view. There was such it was very paced. There was a lot of build up. You kind of didn't know what was going to happen at some point of who was going to win. But Okada ended up defeating the Villain, and it was well done. I think the crowd received Okada well. How could you not? And it was enjoyable, but you definitely could feel the pace change because the match, I would say the match went, 20 minutes? Mm-hmm. I mean, 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah. And the clock was ticking, and so when the match ended, maybe a minute, if not 2 minutes, goes by, and then they start introducing the luchadors for the final match, which was, you know, Bandito, Rey Mysterio, and Phoenix facing the Golden Elite. So they did that. They did the closing match, which was after, if you watch BTE or if you watch any interviews, that was supposed to be the 20-minute match of the night. They cut down to, I think, 8 minutes, if not 9-minute match. And you could feel it. Watching it, you could see they were doing all their moves, their spots very fast. It still was entertaining. It was amazing. And it was the first All In. It was the first show ever like this. So they made it work, and they still finished on time. They got the Golden League got the pin with 3 seconds or something like that. It's all over the internet of how fast they got the pin.
No, 3 seconds left of the show. Like,
before it actually stopped
3 seconds
airing.
Yeah.
So and right, it was good. And then post that moment, the Young Bucks and Cody and Kenny had a nice little farewell speech about, you know, thanking us and thanking the fans. And again, I feel very appreciated as a viewer, as someone who pays their money for merchandise, as somebody who watches their shit on the internet and takes time out of my day to see what these guys are doing. I felt and feel as a fan very appreciated, and that they are very thankful to have me as a fan. That's how I felt listening to the speech in person. And then I rewatched that closing segment, and I still feel the same. I feel like they did the show for me, but when I watch a WWE show and when I've gone to WWE events live, I don't feel that I'm appreciated as a fan. So I had a great time. I mean, for this type of event, I got my money's worth, and I would give them more money if I could. Like, that's kind of how I feel about it. I don't know. What do you guys think? What's your opinion?
So, and real quick, just man, we have so much to talk about. Time's flying by. So I think I've mentioned it before. If you go back to episode 1 of this show, what got Danielle and I back into wrestling after over 10 years of not even watching one episode was the episode of Being the Elite where Marty Scurll debuted. So literally, like, this is what we love about wrestling is, you know, it's Being the Elite, Bullet Club, these guys, like their self-made entrepreneurship. You know, that's literally why we watch wrestling now, and the rest is ancillary. The rest is just revolving around that. So it was like you said, it was like the culmination of everything in the last few years. So it was great. It was great. If they never do another one, it'll be fine. If they do more, it'll be good too. But either way, that moment in time will never happen again. Because the risk reward of that was huge. Pat, being that you were there, what did you think?
I thought, you know, it all around good experience. I'll never forget this moment. It made me take notice to indie wrestling for real. Not even indie, but just other shit outside of WWE, because we're so, you know how we get on this motherfucker and complain about WWE all the time, which we have a right to, because we feel like they're not giving us what we want. Watching All In, I got exactly what I thought I needed watching these guys. I left with a lasting memory of Cody winning the 10 pounds of gold. We saw Jordan Grace powerbomb fucking Brian Cage.
Oh my god, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, you know, so like
amazing.
we saw all these amazing things. I really became a Pentagon fan watching All In. I thought his match with, you know, Omega was amazing, and even the main event. That was the first time I saw Bandito, I think. Yeah, Bandito. That was my first time ever seeing him, and oh my fucking god, man! I wish I can lose 100 pounds and subtract 15 years from my life and go back and be a wrestler. Dude, All In was perfect. I hope that they keep doing it, and I hope this opens up the eyes and nose and assholes of all the other. I hope this opens up, a lot for the, WWE. Maybe they can step their shit up. And look, by no means am I one of those guys like, oh, indie forever and fuck WWE. No, I want to enjoy WWE. I think we all do. That's what we started with. I just think that they need to, take some notes, man. Like shit. Like All In was really legit. It felt like WrestleMania when I was at the Sears Center. It felt like WrestleMania, and it was awesome. No complaints about that fucking pay-per-view at all.
Val, any last words on it?
Thank you, Luke Bryant, and your dumb fans for paying my rent in a day and causing me to miss one of the most important wrestling events that has ever happened in the history of professional wrestling. And when do I get to talk about Raw?
Okay, so I'm gonna do this really fast. New Japan Pro Wrestling, Road to Destruction. It's a long tournament, a multi-night tournament. Night 1 is tomorrow, or in a few hours in Japan time. So it's just gonna be a quick preview here
what
next
type
week.
Of racist shit is that in Japan time? Ain't it like a time zone?
In Oriental time. Is that better?
Oh my God.
Ivan!
Oh my
Hearing
God.
my dog again.
Hey, I have a friend that's Asian. It's
Oh my
okay.
God.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's
No,
okay.
you're
I know a dog.
Asian.
I know an Asian dog. Pat.
Oh my God.
Okay, Ren Narita and Shota Umino versus Chase Owens and Yujiro Takahashi representing Bullet Club is going to happen. Do you guys hear that prick outside with the alarm?
What the fuck is that? I thought it was because you were being racist.
No, that's a neck. That's a
That's a
neckbeard
neckbeard
alert.
alert.
Okay, let me
Neckbeard
guess.
alert. Yoshida, Finlay, Elgin, and Robinson versus the Firing
Isn't that
Squad.
Elgin? Michael Elgin?
Yes, Val, I'm buzzed and I'm tired and I'm sweaty.
Pat hates him anyway, so it's fine.
Hold on,
Yeah.
let me start again.
I
Yoshida,
closed the window. It's not my fault. It's
Finley,
the car alarm's
Elgin,
Fuck Mike Elgin.
fault.
Juice Robinson
That's what I wanted to hear.
versus the Firing Squad. Brett. The Tongans and Ishimori and Bad Luck Fale. It's going to be an amazing match. Toa Hinare versus Trent Beretta. Geto and Goto versus Taka Michinoku. See, I usually do New Japan first, so my pronunciation is all
You're
off
not
because
wasted.
Wow, the tables have turned, y'all.
man,
Welcome to NXT.
Welcome to being inebriated through your segment.
Geto and
Have
Goto
fun.
versus Taka Michinoku and Tai Chi. Then Los Ingobernables de Japón, which are Bushi, Sanada, Evil, and Naito.
You're just showing off.
Rest in peace. Even though he's not dead, rest in peace.
Oh my
Hiromu
God.
Tanahashi. I hope he's okay. Versus El Desperado, Kanemaru, Izuka, and Suzuki Capone. Danielle, thank you for putting the Capone part in there.
Clearly.
Then we have Togi Makabe, Tanahashi, Honma versus Toru Yano, Yoshihashi, and Okada. And the main event of tomorrow's night 1 is Ishii versus and Ospreay versus the Golden Elite, which is Ibushi and Omega. It's going to be a good return to form with these guys. They finally have recovered from their brutal G1 Climax tournament and their extensive traveling from the States. I'm excited. So I'm excited to recap this next week. So guys, we have 43 minutes.
We got to
left.
rapid fire.
We
through all
gotta
this shit
make
because
Raw
we
and-
got to talk about.
We want to talk about Mae Young
Oh,
Classic and NXT. So
So much pressure because it's really not. I mean, it's a lot. There was a lot.
okay, do it.
Columbus, Ohio. Ron Dolphin Tire is a thing. And looky here, Renee is back. She's announcing again. That's a thing too. She's only gonna have long hair when she's announcing, doing commentary, by the way. Shit. I didn't know that any of this show was gonna be good. It really wasn't that great, but there were moments where
It was trash.
If the Bella twins are on it,
it got arrested. That makes no sense, but I'm into it because wrestling. Baron Corbin attempts to calm the chaos in the back. Dean almost kicks Constable Corbin, general manager, whatever the fuck, in the face before the policeman drives away. That was like the best part of the night, for the record. JoJo gives the longest intro since Eva Marie's for the Bella Twins intro. They took on the Riot Squad. None of it matters. The Bellas are obviously winning. They have like the third screen on www.shop.com. Corbin talks to Stephanie. Cool. Oh, here's one thing that's important. Connor's Cure merch is now a thing again. It always has been a thing, but now they have a lot of more options. So when you go to www.shop.com, just like a good little Caponiac would.
Ooh, I
like that.
A little good member of Capone's Mafia would obviously be going to www.shop.com right now. 100% of the proceeds are going to actual charity for pediatric cancer research, and that rules. So now I don't mind that almost every single superstar was wearing Connor's Cure shirts. There's various superstars in the custom shop that fall under the Connor's Cure fundraiser. So please go check them out. They're all really awesome gold versions of the logo on various color shirts. AJ Styles, Alexa Bliss, Braun, Daniel Bryan, Sasha Roman, and most importantly, Charlotte.
Is there a gold version of Soft, SAWFT?
What?
No.
No.
I think they ship those fucking off to Africa.
Yeah, there's like some small town in Africa,
along with the Bears,
where kids have
jerseys for the 2006 season, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
No?
Yep. Exactly.
So, but my other favorite moment of the show, other than Connor's Cure doing good, is that Chad Gable and Bobby Roode are now in love, and it's glorious, and that is a fact. And they're a tag team now, and it's crazy. Elias, he shit talks, whatever, it is what it is. Alexa comes out with her shit. She's from Columbus. She acts like she starts an OHIO chant. Then she shit talks. Cool, shocking. Alexa makes googly eyes at Elias until he begins to play again. Then all of a sudden out comes Ronda Rousey with way more tame braids than normal and all the smiles as always. Alexa ends up taking the win by utilizing Rousey's signature finish on Natty, because that's actually who the match was against, was Natalya. Then she gets really weird as Ronda ragdolled Alicia Fox. Watch this clip if you can. I cannot believe that Alicia Fox is still alive. Like, it's insane.
I'm gonna check it out.
Revival got beat up by Drew and Dolph because fuck them.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
Fuck them. By the way, did I mention that we have new tag team champs? That's how exciting this episode was. Yep. Dolphin Tire.
Hey, any time
I can burp my eye.
Drew McIntyre more on the screen, I am happy.
Well, now he has some silver around his waist, if that's where you were looking by any chance.
That's only where I'm looking.
By the way, speaking of look at authors of What the Fuck. That is not Paul Ellering. Fuck that. I'm pissed. It is Drake Maverick.
It's Paul Ellering in his youth.
No, Danielle, I want that Paul Ellering card that you won when we were.
I know, I still have it. I have it in my bag. I
really want that. I gave Patrick my Roman wall crawler. I want that card.
Yeah. My jobbers pack. It was pretty amazing.
Jobbers pack.
Shout out to two heels to face.
Two heels and a face. According to everything I've read, Old Man McMahon thinks Ellering is too old to be on TV. But Authors of Pain are too crappy at promos to not have one speak words good for them. So Drake Maverick in a different outfit. I swear it's cosplay. Shawn Michaels was on. Did I mention that? I'm pretty sure he was drunk. He talked about an HB Shizzle shirt and shit got weird. He was really pushing the Super Showdown. Yeah, absolutely. Pretty sure he's going to be a guest ref. They haven't announced it, but wait, they did because Australia is in the future, so they already leaked it. If I was in Australia, maybe I would care. Otherwise, nope. That show, except for Charlotte and Becky, means nothing to me. And I love Australia, so I guess it means something to me. By the way, Drake Maverick is managing Authors of Pain. I hate my life. So Corbin totally bails on Finn in this match that he set up because shit was weird. Like, you know, the Shield getting arrested for inciting a riot. So then he has to set up a main against Braun Strowman, and Balor seems super stoked, except for not at all. So yeah, we got a report that the Shield actually was officially, there's my air quotes, you can't see them, charged with inciting a riot, criminal damage, and disorderly conduct. Also, they were charged with go fuck yourself. Boss and Bailey with a hella weird entrance, like Bailey Mr. Q, and it's really awkward. So if you want to see Bailey be awkward in a different way, I suggest watching the clip. But they are taking on Dana Brooke and Ember Moon, because Ember Moon is apparently a jobber now, and that's terrible because she's amazing, but she's also like a metal werewolf, but we don't really know if she is or not. Have we determined this? I don't know.
I don't know. Fuck her jeans.
So Dana loses. She chews out Titus Worldwide. Next thing you know, everything's weird. Bobby Eyebrows is creeping outside of Baron Corbin's office. Charlie Caruso comes up, discovers that he's going over a performance review because that's what's important. Due to a bunch of words that are a bunch of BS, including that my man, Jinder Mahal, must lead my man, Bobby Lashley, in a in-ring meditation. This was actually a thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times he said, my man. But by the way, remember when Kevin Owens quit last week? Well, guess what? He's back, and that's important. No, it's not.
Wait, who's saying my man?
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, Bobby Sweatband. So Balor versus Braun is the main. They are not friends, by the way, even though they used to be. They're both still very good at wrestling, but Balor gets beat. Braun has a shit ton of boogers all down his face, which was also a highlight of the show. Dolphin Tiger decides that they don't want to be stars at all, no matter what the campaign says, even though they're pushing all the Connor's Cure stuff tonight. Nice work, WWE. They decide to like bully and beat the shit out of Balor, of course. But then here we have it, guys. Guys, just what we wanted. Cop sirens, just in the nick of time. Yes. And here's the Shield in the very van they got taken off in, because I'm a fucking lady mark and I made sure the license plate still said Ohio CPD 77. Also because I'm a creep. But the spot goes terribly wrong when Seth gets like legit tossed in the window and his arm shatters the window. And
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that did happen.
Yeah, it was crazy. There was like this huge ass locker room, like the entire men's locker room from Raw came out. Gulak was even there, which I was like kind of surprised. Wearing his cutie little star-spangled trunks, he was. And also we had a super rare Mike Kanellis sighting. I didn't know that he was a heel, but okay then, whatever. And just the best spot of this whole thing, other than Seth Rollins going through a window and bleeding and nobody noticing, just as Renee Young says, this is unbelievable to watch. Mahal and Kanellis, which that's like a tag team I never want to see ever, hold up her husband, Dean Ambrose, as Drew McIntyre, excuse me, takes his fucking teeth in. It was beautiful. Seth was still bleeding throughout the entire match. And oh, good. Next thing you know, WWE story time is up on the network. So that was Raw for you.
Hold on, wait. Before you continue, I took down. I want to go through them really quick. I took down some high, like while I was high.
Oh, okay. Notes, so are they called highlights?
Yeah, these were my highlights. We're going to use that. Okay. First of all, WWE is so fucking dumb to think that. First of all, Shield gets arrested, right? What judge is going to see these motherfuckers at 10 o'clock at night? First of all. Okay, but maybe
they were in Ohio, so they were in the future. Maybe future judges do.
Okay. Another thing that kind of threw me off, right? At the beginning of the show when they did the pull apart with the Shield or whatever at the beginning, why was Finn Balor out there helping? Ain't him and Baron Corbin like beefing? So he shouldn't be like taking orders from Baron Corbin, which I thought was fucking stupid. Okay. Then we had Kevin Owens, who came out to help with the Shield, even though he was just first of all, like him and Braun just had beef. Wasn't Braun like fucking terrorizing him for like 3 months?
Oh yeah.
And now he's out there fucking.
Remember when he flipped him in a porta potty? Because that's good TV, man.
Yeah. So and then they had a promo with the Authors of Pain, I believe. And they were saying that they are the next in line for the tag team titles. I'm thinking, why the fuck were they out there helping Ziggler, Braun, and everyone? If they're the next in line for the tag? Why are you helping the tag team champions? That's all. Those are only notes that I.
So what you're saying when you're high, your highlights are things that actually make sense in reality?
Probably. Maybe I'm just some stupid neckbeard that just I'm just thinking too much. Just sit back and enjoy it. Okay, I guess whatever.
Well, the next night we go to Detroit, Detroit, Michigan. Show opens with shoulder-length haired Renee once again because she is not on commentary, so she has her normal hair and not Lana hair. Introducing Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. The crowd is so stoked to see Brie is still a free agent. Because is that a thing? I thought, that's not a thing, but apparently that's a thing. She's on Raw and SmackDown. And also, well, later on the night, she got into knee mode because she was fucking intense. But, so she also brought her husband, Daniel Bryan. There was a recap of last week's It Couple Beatdown, which also included the awkward empty arena promo of Miz and Mrs. calling out Bella and her fella. It was so weird. They shot this thing before the doors even opened, and a SmackDown Live venue was even emptier than it is in the middle of their show, which is kind of shocking because they don't really always have the best numbers on Tuesday nights. Yeah. 205 Live was hard to watch with all the empty seats, by the way. It kept distracting me. So out comes El Idolo and Zelina, and they smack talk, and then a match happens. Pretty decent bout with Bryan taking the win with an explosive knee to almost his face. Brie essentially does the very same thing to an unsuspecting Vega, gets into knee mode, if you will. Yep, I said that. I'm drinking alcohol. Miz and Marie's taunt Brie and DB from an Italian restaurant named Scarfoni's. Is that a real place? Did anybody ever? I need to know this because if that's a real place, I want to go there. Brie and Bryan are seen ahead of the Scarfoni's. So long as they don't have a dress code at the restaurant, they're fine because literally Daniel Bryan is going to an Italian restaurant in his wrestling trunks. Amazing.
Is the restaurant named Primo?
That's just stupid.
I'm pretty sure it's actually named Nemo, but anyway, but the next segment was great, and because forever. But Charlotte and Becky's interview was fucking awesome, and it was, to quote the last kicker, straight fire. It was really good, and it seemed very genuine. And at first, Charlotte seemed a little stumbly on her words, but she really got into it. They had to be in separate rooms because it was so heated and intense. Charlotte basically said all Becky had to do was ask for a rematch, and Bex replied with full-on anger. Instead of beating her down in that moment, she could have hugged her and said, "Hey, now I want my rematch." For a fight for the title. And instead Bex was like, "Oh, you think I had to ask for that? You stole my fight." It's weird. Becky then mentions how much work it was being Flair's best friend. Please sign me up for that job. I'm in. I'm all in. Can I use that?
I'll make some phone calls.
Yeah. Okay. But it was a great moment on the show overall, I thought. So if you haven't watched it, find it out. Next up is a women's match. Naomi comes out soon after, so do the Iconics. They do a bit about how she always loses to them. Know me, know me, know me. Oh, guess what? It means Naomi is what they meant. Go fuck yourself. Royce takes the pin. Kay takes the sneak attack on Naomi, which then leads to an Asuka appearance, which was super exciting because her hair looked like a beautiful Sonic drive-in icy. One half was lime green and the other half was neon cherry. Oh, so beautiful. And she destroyed them all while wearing a Connor's Cure t-shirt. So thank you, Asuka. There was a really kind of intense Jeff Hardy video package if you're into that kind of thing. But it's really for a feud I could care less about between he and Clandy Orton. So fuck it.
Fuck it.
They show Paige backstage. She's pulling a Kurt Angle and texting backstage because that's what she does, apparently, as a GM. Miz and Maurice approach. They say they left the restaurant because the food was awful. They should talk to Trade in the meanwhile, and they want to confront Brie and DB face-to-face. Since they already left, Paige set up a match for Miz and anyone that wants to face him. Now, this is where the show becomes fun for me. I thought it had moments of intensity and goodness for WWE TV. It was actually pretty good. But R-Truth is walking around backstage, and he sees a blonde woman, very athletic looking. But it's in a blue suit, which is what Maurice was wearing all night. And he thinks he found Carmella, but no, it's Maurice. She turns around and she's like, what are you talking about? And the Miz shows up and he goes, what are you doing? You know, he's asking, why are you talking to my wife like this? Truth says he's trying to book a match with Carmella and insisting that Maurice is Carmella. But she can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
Miz, of course, says, don't you dare talk to my wife like that. Truth seems shocked to find out that Miz is married to Carmella. Miz, this is Truth about not being relevant for the last 7 years because it's the last time they wrestled together. Truth can't see why Carmella would be married to Miz because Carmella is not a terrible jagoff like he is. And then we go over to Samoa Joe starting his promo with, oh, Wendy.
Wonderful.
I'm waiting for them to make the like the shinning type shirts for Joe.
The shinning. Wait, you have to do it in a Scottish accent.
The shinning, you know, like here's Wendy, you know what I mean? Like, but here's Joe or whatever.
Very white of y'all.
Hey,
Yep.
anything involving The Simpsons it applies to our age demographic. I wouldn't say race. I would say anybody in the 30s will be able to relate to a Simpsons reference. Okay.
Absolutely. But anyway, so he claimed to have kept his promise to Wendy because Joe's actions have actually forced AJ to be at home with his family. Because he kept saying daddy's coming home, and we all thought he was talking about Joe himself. Nah, he was talking about beating the shit out of AJ and sending him home. AJ appears on the screen, and then all of a sudden, poof, the most glorious hair in the WWE is in the middle of the ring. Yep, AJ Styles shows up, goes ballistic, destroys the really fancy, like, overhyped ring post that they have now with a solid steel chair. And, like, Paige and some officials have to shoo him off Samoa Joe because shit was getting weird. So then we cut back to more comedy after that such intensity, and Truth finally finds actual Carmella, the Princess of Staten Island. Ty Dillinger is still there too. I don't understand where their friendship comes in, but whatever. Carmella tells him to buzz off, and Truth says other Carmella was mean, nasty, and that his Maurice is actually his cousin from Detroit, which got like a super like tepid pop. Then Dillinger tries his hardest to get a pop from the crowd by saying, for the love of Kid Rock.
No.
No response.
Yeah,
So Truth claims he's trying to teach Ty a thing or two about wrestling and how to get in the main event of SmackDown Live, which he has. He is going to be the one taking on Miz with Carmella in his corner because he convinced her, to join him because Maurice called her Staten Island trash. And when I saw her tracks for her extensions, I was like, she's not that wrong. Danielle, please get on the Glam Squad soon.
Shit, man. That's my goal. There's so much fixing that needs to happen on behind the scenes.
So much. So then the Usos take on Sanity, who take on Rusev Day to compete in their triple threat tag team action to see who ends up with the opportunity to face off against the Bar, basically to see who faces off against the current SmackDown tag team champs, the New Day. Does that make any sense? It kind of makes alcohol.
Schmoo-day.
There was a lot of chaos, and I thought at one point that Killian Dane may have killed Jey Uso with a drop kick. Like, legit, I thought he was dead. Then EY tried to pin Rusev. Eric Young tried to pin Rusev with his feet on the ropes. And English got all sassy and said, not on his watch, and distracted Eric Young. Boom, Machka kick from the Bulgarian boot of Rusev. Rusev Day takes the win, so they're going on to face the Bar. And the winner of the Bar versus Rusev Day takes on New Day at Hell in a Cell. So next week we have a battle for that spot. There was a really sweet, awesome, it might be dusty in here kind of piece on the kids that are battling pediatric cancer, showcasing Super Messiah. This little dude is like beyond cute. Like, I didn't even mind that he was doing the whole John Cena "you can't see me" thing, because when he started saying, can you smell what Messiah is cooking, it was beyond adorable. And I already ordered a Charlotte shirt. I might order more shirts. If there's something you guys want, just let me know.
I want a bleeding Roman Reigns shirt. Can you arrange
I tried to
that?
order you that, but they only had small, which is my size, 4XL and 5XL.
I know. I'm giving you shit.
That's fine. I'll wear it in your honor. And don't forget that Mixed Match Challenge Season 2 begins on Tuesday, September 18th, immediately following SmackDown Live, because apparently 205 Live isn't a thing they want you to tune into the network for. Whatever. You can only watch it on Facebook Watch. And from Raw, we are going to have Sasha Banks and Bobby Eyelashley, Bailey and Balor, which is what we all wanted to see last year. And now at this point, I don't think anybody wants to see that. Bliss and Braun, Alicia Fox and Jinder Mahal.
Ginger Mahal.
Okay, first round exit.
And the Canadians, or Natty and Kevin Owens, which I thought he quit. So what the fuck?
Yeah, they botched that. Whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, who's going to throw the bigger temper tantrum, though, is what I want to know. So from SmackDown Live, we have Truth Mella, Asuka, the Phenomenal Queen, Lana Sebde, and all the Oops. So those are the teams that we're going to be cheering for. Naomi and Jay, Lana and Rusev, Charlotte, AJ, Asuka, Miz, R-Truth, Carmella. The main event, Maurice is wearing the new Miz Moji shirt. You can purchase it on WWE.com or shop.com. And I'm super upset. I looked throughout the entire show to see if his sunglasses were for sale, because I can't even handle them, but I kind of need them in my life. Unfortunately, they are not. If anybody can find me Miz sunglasses, please do.
Hot topic.
Yeah, probably. I kind of want to see Carmella and Truth as an actual tag team after their intro. So thank you, Mixed Match Challenge, because it was one of the first time. I'm not very into Carmella, but she looked like she was having fun and she wasn't just being a squeaky bitch. But yeah. Oh, and also my next note says, thanks for the reminder that I really don't want extensions, even though I really miss having long hair, Carmella. My favorite part of this match was basically Maurice mumbling, "What's up, what's up?" And I swear to Ditka, she said, "What the fuck is that?" from the apron, like leaning through the ropes. It was a really fun match throughout. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't that great of a show, but it wasn't terrible. Eventually, though, Miz was using a lot of Daniel Bryan's moves.
Yeah.
So Detroit was not having it, of course. Truth ended up winning because of the distraction of Flight of the Valkyries, which is
good to see my black brother win.
Yeah, and he did the splits and everything. Yeah, so Daniel Bryan's music's hit. Both Brie and Daniel Bryan came out to attack the It couple. Eventually, Almas and Vega also come out to mess with Bryan and Brie. And they get their next feud foes in a pair of yes locks, making Miz and Maurice watch the torture that they will bring down upon them. Yeah, they're not able to tap and the show closes. The next thing up was The Purge, and I wish WWE would purge at least 1 hour from Raw. So there you go. That's my review.
Well, SmackDown was okay. Raw was ass. 205 was, I don't know what the fuck, but Grand Metalik beat the fucking 205 Live Buff Bagwell Tony Nese. Nomar Dar defeated Brian Kelly, probably some guy they picked out from the back. And Cedric Alexander defeated TJP in a match that probably meant absolutely nothing because it was only 13 people in the fucking stands. And that's my report on 205 Live.
Great. Okay, we're going to move on to the Mae Young Classic. Okay, Val, we're going to tag team this because it's the Mae Young Classic Volume 2. And so far, I'm pretty satisfied. We started out the night with I guess we're in the first round. We're going to be in the first round this week and next week, right? I believe.
Yes.
That's how they're running it. But Tegan Nox defeated Zatara, the Chilean kind of luchador, but not really. I actually was rooting for Zatara, but she's a luchadora.
She's absolutely a luchadora.
Right. Okay. They made no reference at all. And I don't know if it's I don't want to offend, with the the status of how Latin wrestlers are broken down. So that's why I just put Chilean in our notes, because I didn't want to call her a luchador, but I do love her mask.
She is the first Chilean, male or female, to wrestle in WWE, so that's pretty cool.
It's pretty amazing. She was awesome, but it went to a pretty new up-and-comer WWE girl, Tegan Knox from South Wales.
Yeah, Wales in the United Kingdom is who she's representing. She was supposed to be in last year, actually, but she had to bow out like 2-3 weeks before because she tore her ACL.
Yes.
So I don't disagree with you, Danielle, that I'm pretty satisfied with it so far, but every single match I predicted who was going to win, and every single match I was absolutely right. So I don't know if it was the commentary or if it was just the wrestling or what, but it was a little bit of a bummer because it was obvious who was going to win.
Yeah, I definitely watching how the pace was and the way, even like you said, the commentary kind of spoiled it. And for anybody who pays attention to the commentary, if you didn't pick up on their cues and how they would talk about each performer, they kind of gave it away.
Well, and it was the first time ever that we have 2 women in the announce booth, honestly, as Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix joined Renee High Ponytail is Back Young alongside Michael Cole.
I will say, okay, compared to last year, which Lita, Miss Dumas co-hosted, right?
Right.
I'm sorry, Beth Phoenix blows her out of the water. She's way more entertaining. She's smoother on the microphone. I enjoy already the commentary much more than I did last year.
Well, here's the biggest issue I had with it was Renee Young was still being a fangirl. And I absolutely understand that because I'm a fangirl myself. But every other thing that happened, Renee was going, oh! And it was obnoxious. And it bums me out because I want to see her do well.
True. I think she's still... I relate to Renee Young in the fact that she's so green and it is enjoying being kind of a spectator and hasn't separated her job for what she is as a commentator versus a spectator. And it plays through in how she comes off on commentary. I don't hate it, but I definitely see where you're coming from, though. Definitely. She is not playing the role that she should be, but maybe she'll get stronger the more that she's on the mic.
Oh yeah, I definitely hope so. I mean, also she's just new to commentary. She hasn't done commentary since the early NXT days. And Beth Phoenix did get to do some last year. So it's cool, and I hope you're right. But it was very obvious that they were hyping up Tegan and talking about the uphill battle she had the entire time. And how many times can they say the girl with the shiniest wizard? By the way, that's what she ended up winning with, was a shining wizard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just like, all right, well, this is pretty obvious what's going to happen here.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, we followed that match up with a personal fave of mine, Ray. But I think she doesn't say it Ray.
It's Rhea Ripley.
Rhea? Okay, yeah, because I know when I see her name, my brain doesn't compute. Rhea Ripley, phenomenal gal from last run of the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah, she's from Australia. She's a badass.
I fucking love her. Like, again, I wrote in the notes the Pete Dunne doppelganger, because everything about her is... She's the woman version of him, and I just love her style. I like her.
She's like 6'2".
Yeah, she's like a brute chick that is just badass. I freaking love her. But she defeated MJ Jenkins, and she's from Brooklyn. She's a U.S. girl. Not knocking the girl, but I'm sorry. The commentating, besides me being a fan, was behind Ripley on this. And
yeah, absolutely. Like they touched upon the fact that MJ Jenkins was newer to this, was a newcomer to the Mae Young Classic and a bit newer to the wrestling scene, less experienced than Rhea Ripley, but she was trained by the Dudley Boys and she is from Brooklyn, New York. So that was her highlights. And she actually, I think the crowd was pretty into her, even though they were really behind Rhea. I think between like Rhea Ripley being in it last year, she's also working with, if I'm not mistaken, the NXT UK, and she's just well known in the indie scene. So everybody was key into Rhea. The one thing that I kind of thought was surprising was that Ripley apparently gets compared to Charlotte all the time, but she hates that.
I think if I were her, I not that it would be a bad comparison at all, but she wants to be separate, and the way she visually presents herself is nothing like Charlotte. So I think
the tall boss ass beast of a blonde woman.
Yeah, I think that would, again, I compare her to Pete Dunne. Like, she's a kick-ass, brute, bruiser-weight type of chick versus Charlotte, which has a little bit, she presents herself more elite. Like,
the bruiser May is what she is.
Yeah. So, yeah, I get it.
But I like that she has a Miz stand-up in her apartment. That was a fun fact that they dropped. I was shocked to hear that.
Same here. I kind of chuckled when I heard that. Like,
so Ripley did take the win via a pretty brutal power bomb that I thought was gonna like leave Jenkins done for being done. But the third match was Lacey Lane, Winter Park, Florida's own, and recent signee to the WWE Performance Center. So I wonder who's gonna win. And Vanessa Craven, who is actually, I think, who should have taken the win, who has so much experience and absolutely one of my favorite wrestlers today. She does Shimmer, she does Rise, she does a lot of the indies. She's from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And I don't know how you felt about it, Danielle, but the announce team sold Lane so much. It definitely had me nervous for Mount Craven from the get-go. Like, all they did was talk about Craven being big.
Yeah, it kind of pissed me off. Okay, so when this match happened, I was in the gray about who would come out, because sometimes, you know, they'll play up who's gonna lose on you know, the whatever it might be happening. But because Lacey Lane has been signed already and they kept talking about that, I was like, okay, there's no way this girl's gonna win because she already has a spot within the roster.
No, but that's why I thought she was gonna win, because they like dragged out Leo Rush and mentioned like, oh, NXT star Leo Rush who had taken on Lacey Lane in the past. Like, why are you talking about that? You know?
Yeah, I definitely think they did Vanessa Craven wrong in their commentary and just the way she barely did any moves. I was kind of annoyed by this match because she's a badass and they totally didn't give her any timing to show what she can do. So,
well, and there was a point where like Lacey Lane botched that tightrope walk.
Oh yes, that was.
And they tried to play it off like, well, you shouldn't be, you know, trying new moves. Da 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 da. But yeah, it was pretty gnarly. But Lane, you know, she eventually was able to catch Vanessa Craven with the crucifix bomb, excuse me, which is Lane's finisher. And even though I really wanted to see Mount Craven advance, I mean, as much as the commentary team was marking out over every single thing that Lane did, I just was like, there's no way she's winning or getting out of this. 1, 2, 3 happened. But hopefully WWE will realize that Craven is a badass performer and athlete and snatch her up ASAP, because she should be a part of the WWE roster, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. We close out this first part of round 1 with the amazing Satomura defeating Killer Kelly. Like, this match was, this could have been a pay-per-view.
It was so good.
It was so good. Like,
Satomura is insane. And Killer Kelly is like an up-and-comer that is like, hot damn.
And they both, you know, I felt this was the only match where I didn't know which way it was going to go. Like, I
in my mind, I was thinking that because they were pushing how much that Mako, like, has, you know, they kept showing WCW clips that she was in. And to me, that they were showing that, I was like, oh, yeah, they're trying to push that she has a wrestling pedigree. Yep, it's going this way.
True. But, okay, you're right. Yeah. Like, I'm very satisfied. Like, this match was, I loved it. I thought it was so hard hitting and it showed the strength of what is to come, I hope, anyways, out of this tournament. She was awesome. And Killer Kelly brought everything she could bring to this type of elite match, if you want to call it that. Like, I loved every moment of it. I think this was a great way they could have closed out night one, because it makes everybody interested into seeing what else all the ladies are going to provide, because it's 32. We have 32 gals to root for. Well, not technically anymore, but it's going to be a great tournament.
32 competitors, yeah. And I mean, there's a handful of people that are returning from last year, and there's a bunch of people that we've never heard of. There's a couple people that are returning that haven't been with the WWE in a while, so it's really a mixed bag. And there was that brief interview with Natalia from apparently the first ever Middle Eastern signee of WWE. Shadia Baseo, I think is how you say her name. I'm not super familiar with her yet. I know she's like a MMA artist from the Middle East. She does jujitsu. But Natty was saying Io Shirai and Mia Yim are her picks. And I can't help but agree with her that those two are, well, my dog just knocked something off the shelf. Those two are definitely going to be finishing towards the end, in my opinion. But I mean, I also feel like Meiko Satomura, she's pretty intense. I don't know if they're going to give it to her all the way because of her age, and I hate to say that, but I would imagine that they would want to invest in somebody that could have a 21-plus year career as Satomura has. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But starting with WWE. So Io Shirai is somebody that was going to be in last year's Mae Young Classic, but had some heart health issues, so she wasn't cleared. And Mia Yim did great last year. So, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Good stuff, man. And we're gonna roll right into the most rapid fired NXT I think I've ever done. I mean, I pretty much think that 80% of our show has been me rapid firing through NXT because of just it being the kind of the last show of the week. So it always gets the last spot, and I'm okay with that. So I'm honestly going to skip through a lot of this, and if anybody's interested, they'll just have to sign on to the network and watch the damn matches that you want to watch. But I kind of want to talk about the finale of this past week's NXT, which was Velveteen Dream versus Johnny Gargano. That match,
Johnny Phil.
Oh, I will say pay-per-view worthy. By far, also couldn't predict which way it was going to go. They both had near pinfalls, or whatever you want to say. But Velveteen Dream does pick up the win on this match. It was phenomenal. Like, and it could be because of my mood. By the time I was watching NXT, and at this point of the time of watching NXT, I was kind of over the show, and I never have really said that before about NXT. But it was just coming down from All In and everything going on in the independent scene, and what this week was with us with Schedule Forward One Fall and what we witnessed this week. I just didn't care about WWE, but this match got me invested. So if you watch anything from NXT, definitely forward it to this match. I kind of like the Omega and Pentagon match of like how many times they both could have fucking died during their spots and moves. But long story short, Velveteen Dream won, and I don't even know where to go from this, but that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to say. I mean, the cool part that they closed out with was that they let the audience chant Gargano out of the arena with saying Johnny Failure / Johnny Wrestling. So you heard the crowd bouncing back and forth with chanting that, and Johnny saying to the camera, I'm sorry. And
What a soft.
yeah, I mean, I guess take it for what it is, but the fact that they kind of they aired that part that it shows the crowd is kind of 50-50 on how they feel about Johnny Wrestling at this point. So
yeah, I think they're not over him. I don't think he's over. I think they're over him, which is
because they keep running this into the ground. So definitely, if you watch anything from this past week's NXT, it would be that match specifically. But besides that, Val, let's close out the night with you rounding out what's been going on in the Chicago scene.
So I'm not going to go through the results for Warrior Wrestling 2 because I will get way too into it and I will mark out far too hard. But I am going to tell you, you should definitely check them out. Follow them on Twitter if you can. If you have Twitter, they raised something like $12,000 for the scholarships for the kids that can't really afford to go to the Catholic school. And my religion is sports on Sunday, including wrestling. So I was still very happy to help support. But anyway, if you want to support local indie wrestling, as you should, and you have a vehicle because it's a little bit far, it's in LaSalle, Illinois. This Saturday, September 8th, AAW Wrestling is putting on their next show. It's called Seize the Day. You can check it out at aawrestling.com. There's a AAW Tag Team Championship match, the besties in the world versus Zachary Wentz and Desmond Xavier, going for the title. DJ Z versus Myron Reed. Oh my God, I can't even believe I had to work a show at Wrigley. Paco versus Stephen Wolf. And I don't know if anybody was at any of the AAW shows other than me this last week, but Friday got really intense and really weird. And due to the craziness that has ensued on Thursday and Friday, Jimmy Jacobs is now facing Jake Christ in a street fight match. So it's going to be crazy. The Hooligans are making an appearance. They are amazing. If you've never seen them wrestle, you definitely should. They're taking on Mike Hartenbauer versus Cody Rice. It's just going to be a really, really good night. So if you can, and you want to see Hakeem Zayn take on Trey Miguel, which I know that you do, check it out. It's only $15. Saturday, 7 p.m. at the Knights of Columbus at 209 Gooding Street, LaSalle, Illinois, 601. Excuse me. I'm so used to saying 606 because of Chicago. 61301. You can get tickets at aawpro.ticketleap.com. So yeah,
it's a good plug. You know who we should also plug, Val?
Heels in a Face.
Yes. Tell me about what we did at Warrior Wrestling.
So one of the great things about Warrior Wrestling is that they wanted to really bring wrestling to the fans, and that they did. They had a wrestling fan fest. And a part of the Wrestling Fan Fest was, the autographs and the meeting your icons like Rey Mysterio Jr. and Jordan Grace and, fucking Brian Cage. Like all the people that were on the show essentially were a part of the Fan Fest. So it was really cool. But they also had podcasters that were recording live and keeping a running commentary of the All-In Weekend festivities, even as far as Sunday at Warrior Wrestling 2. And so Two Heels and a Face, they're on Twitter at 2, the number 2, HEELSANDAFACE. So Two Heels and a Face. They're also on SoundCloud, if I'm not mistaken. And that's where you can find their podcast. They're an awesome bunch of dudes that they're always at indie shows. Like they're always supporting wrestling. And so they were doing a live podcast, and anybody that wanted to just had to wait in line, and they could pull, because they look at it like wrestling's like a buffet. There's the first course, the main course, and dessert, and everything's a little bit different. And they have a really great podcast. It's actually what I listen to quite often when I'm driving in Milwaukee back and forth on my commute for roller derby. I listen to Two Heels and a Face so I don't lose my mind in traffic. And they interviewed David Arquette this weekend, and then they interviewed me and Danielle too. And it was super exciting because, I think it was La Flamma Blanca's first time being on a podcast other than ours about wrestling.
Yes, I kind of got nervous and stuttered, but Val came to save me. So thank you, and thank you to the gentlemen. We appreciate your consideration.
It was super good. And definitely check out at Warrior Wrestling. No vowels in wrestling. That's WRSTLNG at Warrior Wrestling. They said that we'll be back is the last line they wrote on their thank you tweet that they sent out. They raised over $12,000 for scholarships for kids at Marion Catholic High School. That's so amazing. They entertained about 950 fans is what they said. That's pretty damn cool considering it was Sunday on a holiday weekend after our wrestling holiday weekend. That's pretty amazing. So I'm very proud of the folks at Warrior Wrestling, and thank you so much for the hospitality. Everybody was so wonderful as always. And you know what?
Definitely.
I heard some people were getting aggro about how hot it was in there. Did you know it's Chicago in September?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
It's all good. I had my stomach sweat, neck sweat. It was all good, man. I loved the show.
I legit met a woman as I was leaving the bathroom, and she's like, I can't believe how hot it is here. They should fix this. I go, well, A, it's in a Catholic school gymnasium, and B, it's their second show ever. And I think that they're doing a phenomenal job as somebody that works large-scale events often. I think they're doing a great job. There was a little bit of confusion, but yeah, they worked it out, and they were so wonderful and so positive and great. And she was like, well, there should be air conditioning. And I was like, well, there is air conditioning where we are in the bathrooms and in the fan fest, but in the room where the wrestling is, where the wrestlers are performing and being athletes, and she was on an air conditioning train. So
typical American.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, hey, suburban mom, chill the hell out. But instead I was trying to kill her with kindness and just remind her that this is a day for charity. And it's just the scope of what they've done with their two shows is huge. And I can't wait to see what Warrior Wrestling is going to do next. So I'm very excited.
Sure. Yes, same here. I think this is.
And I was so close with my prediction, wasn't I, Danielle? I was so close.
We were right there, man. It's so upsetting, but we were about living in the present, not the past. So
that's right. Brian Cage is the Warrior Wrestling champion. It's fine. He deserves it. But man, he barely beat my boy Ray Phoenix, which is who I said was going to win it. It was great. Again, a great
black guy never wins. I was black guy never wins. So what the fuck?
But it was definitely a great second show for this promotion, and we're all happy to be a part of it and look forward to the shows that will be coming up.
DJZ and Pat Monix, that match was insane.
Every time they fight, they always pull out all the stops. Like they are great together. They definitely know each other's moves and they sell each other's moves very well. So do you know what I love? I am very entertained every time they're together.
I love that none of the three of you knew who Sammy Guevara was, and all three of you were into him by the end of the show. And that's what I love about indie wrestling, because you're like, who the fuck is this guy with a panda on his crotch? You know what I mean? And then you're like, Sammy Guevara. Like, that's how I feel when I go to.
Yeah, that dude is amazing.
He was awesome. Yeah, he was great. And I mean, he was quote unquote the unknown, even though he's not. He's pretty well known on the indie scene, but like he was with Ray Phoenix, Jeff Cobb, Austin Aries, Pentagon Jr., Rich Swann, Brian Cage, and Rey fucking Mysterio. And then Sammy Guevara. So who is this guy? He did so great. I'm so proud of him. I'm always impressed by him. He's phenomenal. And Mae Young Classic 2, Mia Yim was also there.
Ah, yes. That was a nice little. We got like a double I don't even know what word. I don't even have a word for a two-time show of. I don't know. I think I'm done. I think I have to tap out. I'm tapping out for the night because I have no more words.
Yeah. Well, I guess that ends episode 28 of Scheduled for One Fall. And it was a long weekend. Like, shit was crazy. I'm still trying to get my voice back. Like, I yelled so much at Frank the Clown. Oh, my Lord.
forgot about that.
I love that we didn't even mention him until now.
And you were just like, I hate you, Frank the Clown. I hate you, Frank the Clown. Not even I hate you, Frank. Just I hate you, Frank the Clown. You said it like 27 times.
I know. There's got to be some footage of both Patrick Pryor and Black Market Ivan screaming that phrase because nobody else was yelling in that moment. So there's some clip that exists out there that has our two guys from this show screaming, I hate you, Frank the Clown. So, so if anybody finds that, tag us in it, please.
All right.
Oh, Pat hung up.
Oh, Pat. And then, Pat decided because he hates Frank the Clown so
Oh, did he already sign off already?
That his ass, who I didn't kick when I saw him this weekend, but I will the next time.
This guy.
Mark my words, Patrick Pryor. I will hunt you down and I will whoop your ass for always bailing on us in our closing segment. But anyways, I'm signing off. This is La Flama Blanca. You can find me at Viva Danielle on Twitter. You can find us at Schedule for One Fall or SFOF podcast on the Instagram and the Twitter. Where can they find you guys at?
Market Ivan on Twitter, and that's about it. What about you, Val?
Hey, girl. Hey. I'm at Val Capone on Twitter and at Valfonse, VALPHONSE on Instagram. And then there's like Facebook.com, Val Capone, whatever. Cubs win.
All right.
All right, everybody. Bye.